Hi, good morning. Welcome to Business. My name is Darryl Kwao. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson and President Akufo-Addo this week are expected to sign a £40 million agreement, which will see the construction of a new terminal as part of the upgrade of the Kumasi Airport. The facility, which forms part of a pre-financing arrangement between the two countries, will be disbursed after the UK-Africa Summit, which has begun in London today. Here's UK High Commissioner to Ghana, Ian Walker.
We have invested two things, particularly airports. The airport extension, which means that larger planes can land there. And also what we'll be announcing, particularly at this summit, is a further £40 million through UK Export Finance, which will be the building of the terminal building in Kumasi. So let me just say a word on that. I'll expand on other projects, but just a word on why we think that matters and why I think this kind of concept of fusing our thinking matters. So first of all, that is a focus on private sector, participation, exactly what we want. It's not about aid, it's about how do we get more investment and more private sector provision here. But it is also, for me, about development, but it's about the private sector playing a key part in development. Kumasi, as you know better than me, is a massive hub of commercial activity. As we know, in every country in the world, second cities perform such a vital role in the kind of dynamism of an economy. That's particularly true, I think, in Kumasi, given its critical regional role there. We've already, I think, as you know, invested funding in Kajetia Market in Kumasi. We're not announcing that as part of the summit because we've announced that before. But the investment in phase 2 of Kajetia Market is a huge, I think, step forward about modernising the conditions in which people work and conditions in which people trade.
Now, ahead of the implementation of the Continental Free Trade Agreement, Ghanaian businesses are being cautioned against the repatriation of profits to advanced countries. According to the president of the Chartered Institute of Logistics and Transport Ghana, Ebo Hammond, local businesses need to work closely with neighboring countries in order to make more gains. He spoke to Joy Business at the official launch of the Africa Forum 2020 to be held in March this year. Bismarck Ausa has more.
Chartered Institute of Logistics and Transport Ghana is pushing for more partnership among Ghanaian firms to ensure that the country benefits from the Continental Free Trade Deal. The pact is expected to go live from July this year, but there are fears that local businesses could lose out. But in an interview, President of the Institute, Ebo Hammond, says there could be a way out.
If you look at money moving around and economic development, every region trade among themselves first before they trade with other people. In Asia, they really trade among themselves more than even they trade with the international world. So what we have to do is that if there's any money, it should be kept within Africa. And then it's spread for everybody and not to go outside the continent. And when it also happens like that, it means that people also see us as a single market. And so when somebody is coming to Ghana, he doesn't see only Ghana, about 30 million people. He's seeing Ghana together with Nigeria and then South Africa and everybody.
The CILT Africa Forum 2020 will be hosted in Ghana and expected to attract 300 delegates from the continent and the rest of the world. According to Mr. Hammond, the forum seeks to bring to the fore the opportunities inherent in the Free Trade Agreement. Vice President and Chairman of the Africa Forum, Dr. Newton Demba, had this to say.
One consequence of hosting such a conference is that it could further open Ghana's industrial sector to competition from other African companies. This calls for a purposeful, deliberate plan by the government to refinance and retool Ghana's industry to stand up to foreign competition. Indeed, trading among African countries with a market of more than 1.2 billion people is a major turning point towards the transformational agenda to liberate the continent from area where there is poverty and deprivation.
The CILT Africa Forum 2020 is scheduled for the 18th to 20th of March this year. It is on the theme, Sustainable Implementation of the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement, the role of the logistics, transport and industry. Bismarck Ausa, Joy Business.
And that's all for business. The news continues after this break.